Here we go. I'm TJ Quake, the ghetto gamer on this gaming thing. What is cracker lacking, my peoples? Once again, we are back. TJ Quake's ghetto gaming pop culture talk, and you know how I always do. I get real with you. So we about to get real once again with some other craziness, just typical stuff that I'm always wanting to. When I see stuff like this, I gotta just point it out. I gotta point stuff out that I see. So on pop culture talk, obviously we always talk about gaming, pop culture news, what's going on in the country, what's going on in America, what's going on around the world, what's going on in the entertainment industry, all that crazy stuff. But a lot of it gets down to, I guess you could say political kind of vibes, whether it be the left or the right and so forth. But as you guys know, we're in this, I guess, cultural war. And I have a big thing against what you might call these progressives out there, these left wing progressives that took over the Democratic Party. And it's mainly through these white millennials. A lot of them, when I mean white millennials, I'm talking about like the Democratic left wing, far left white people today, especially the young ones and everything, where they think that somewhere in their head that they can speak for black people all the time. And they always think that anything that they're for, black people are automatically for it, and so forth. That black people should agree exactly with them. You know, when Joe Biden said, "You ain't black," if you don't vote for me, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Remember he said that on what's his name show? What was it, the morning show, the God, whatever his name is, and everything, brother, and so forth. And a lot of black people, were pissed off about that shit because that to us is racist. That's real racism, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know who the real racists are? And I'm going to straight up tell you, I'm going to put it right on the rails on Front Street. The real racists are these freaking progressive, liberal, white motherfuckers out there on the Democratic side. It always has been on the Democratic side where racism has always shown its ugly face and so forth. Now it's shown in a different way. It's shown in a matter that black people can't think for themselves. Black people don't think. Black people you should agree with us because we're fending for you. I don't need you to help me or fend for me or anything. But that's what the topic of this video is today. Because I'm going to show you guys a typical situation where a white little, liberal, all far left progressive social justice warrior girl decides she's going to get up and actually say, oh, well, black people, I never once seen a black person ever, go against abortion rights and so forth like that. There's no black woman. I've never seen that, and there never has been one. Really? Really? Is that so? Okay. Well, let's find out. Let's get to the video real quick, and we'll show that right now for you guys, so you guys see what I'm talking about, and then we'll talk a little bit more on the thing, and we're going to show you the hypocritical flow and how she's about to get destroyed. She's about to get destroyed by a black woman, actually, who is got her degree in biology. Go figure. Okay, let's go right here. It seems how everybody always wants. We're going to start right here. Let's go right over there. There we go. Here we go. This girl right here with a little half red hair, and the other side, like it's always these ones with the freaking pink and purple and yellow and pink, green, red hair. It's always these ones. And as you can see by the looks of her, yeah, let's do this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is TJ Quake, your ghetto gamer. Let's roll this film real quick and let you guys see what I'm talking about. I'll mute this real quick. Oh, yeah.
Really fucking laughable that it's only white people equating slavery to owning an abortion. Not once have I heard one black or woman of color.
Faith, do you want to come up here? Because apparently color matters.
I would like to hear from a woman of color why
sure,
that
Faith,
isn't racist.
come on up here.
I would rather hear that.
Good, Faith.
What's so funny?
Why are you pro-life, Faith?
Yes, thank you.
I am pro-life because life begins in the womb at conception. And I think that our personhood, our rights should not be based on having to be human plus something else. That's exactly what happened with slavery, where we were told that you have to be human plus not black. And now we're saying that you have to be human plus a certain age, or human and in a different location. And so really what abortion is age-based discrimination.
Now, before we can let this girl respond, that black woman just educated this stupid, dumbass white girl and everything, who said, "I've never once seen a black person ever feel like this and go against abortion. No, there's no black women out there that are doing that. Never once have I ever seen that." Really? That's why she got her. You notice what her face looked like when homegirl pointed out there was a black woman in the room and so forth? She was all like, huh? Wait a minute. There's actually one in here and everything. This is the thing I would cracks me up about people like this, is they always their whole argument falls when an actual black person gets in their face and actually tells them, "You don't speak for me. Stop speaking for us. You don't know where we came from. You don't know what we grew up in. You don't know." It's like them always say, "Well, black people are more likely to be in jail all the time and everything because of discrimination." No, it's because black people commit more crimes. You want to know how us black people know that? Because we live in those neighborhoods where that shit happens. That's how we know. If I go out of the hood and go over there in a nice little urban, suburbia, nice little white neighborhood, I ain't got to look behind my back 24/7. I ain't got to do that. You know why? Because most of the time, white people ain't doing drive-bys down the motherfucking street shooting up everybody. Black neighborhoods, they do that. Yeah, quite often. All the time, actually. Daily. Look at Southside Chicago and many other freaking ghetto spots and so forth. Baltimore, Compton, Detroit. I can name a number of them in California. You know what I'm saying? Watts, Inglewood. All these like type of places where this little freaking heifer right here, I guarantee you, when black girls will freaking look at her and tell her to freaking go on somewhere. They always think that they're freaking vouching for freaking black people, when most black people ain't really vouching for them and so forth. I'm just being real and everything. Now, you got the blacks that are like me, who are smart and educated, and we understand deals, and we live in reality. We don't live in fantasy land. But let's go on. Let's go on with this girl and let her finish her little point where she gets schooled. Already she's been schooled by this girl, and she's going to end the note by really schooling this girl and the rest of her dumb friends. Look at this little mess she got written on her belly.
Black people weren't seen as humans. They weren't seen as human beings. Black people were not seen as humans. They were like.
Well, why is she walking away? Well, why is she walking away? Oh, they weren't seen as humans. Yeah, you're right. Is what the girl's point was, is that the same thing that was happening to black people, we were considered less than human and everything. Just like you're saying the baby in the woman's womb is considered less than human. It's not human. So you can just kill it. Well, that's how they dealt with black people back in the day. Oh, they're less than human. They're not really. They're like roaches, so we can just kill them. They're just cattle and so forth. So the girl's point was exactly that, and you just freaking agreed with her and said, well, they were less than human. That was the whole point, you dumb flip net fat up and everything. That's what she was trying to tell your dumb ass and so forth. But you're too stupid to freaking get it because you're so brainwashed by the rest of these college campuses. I don't know why these people go on college campuses. Why do they go on college campuses? It's laughing matter to me. It's laughable. It is. It's so. Anyway, let this girl finish up her point on biology. But again, as you guys noticed, she walked away because she was starting to lose the argument. She couldn't say nothing to this black girl in her face. See, they say that shit when black people ain't around them, and they act like they're all for you and all, yeah. But as soon as a black person confronts someone and puts them in their place, then they like, yeah, because you don't really freaking know because you ain't black. Stop speaking for us. Anyway, I digress. Let's go on.
The Supreme Court actually said that they were 3/5 a human person. Just like how you all have denied that a child in the womb is a human person.
No, it's not. It's not human.
That's fundamentally incorrect. What is it? What is a child in the womb? Is it a koala bear? When I get pregnant, am I pregnant with a koala bear? I'm pregnant with a member of our species.
A fetus of a dolphin looks the same as a fetus of a human. You literally can't tell them apart because it's not human yet. It's not.
Does somebody else have a question?
I just want to note that as a black woman and as a person who got my degree in biology, life does begin at conception.
Booyah! As a black woman, as a woman who got her degree in biology, life does begin at conception. Something this little stupid dumb heifer over here, and you're there talking about, it's not human. It's not so, but it's living. So what is it? So just kill it? Kill it? Well, it's not human, so we can kill it. That's what they thought about black people back in the day. That was where her point was. Is they thought of us as less than human. The one girl even agreed with her. She said, that's because they didn't think of you as human. Really? Kind of like you're saying about the fetus in the woman's womb, that it's not human. So it's okay to kill it. It's okay to do whatever you want to it because it's not human yet. And everything. It's not yet. It's going to be, you dumbass. It's going to be born. They got so bad with this daggum bill to freaking abort children that they can even get rid of the child after it's born. That's how bad this has gotten. New York was celebrating this, lit up one of their towers pink, in celebration that you can kill the baby after it's born if you just said, oh, I like the way it looks. So yeah, they'll just go ahead and let it, and they say, well, it's so comfortable. We let them go away comfortably. We just put them under a little heater and everything, and we just let them just die. We don't take care of them. We don't do nothing for them. We just let them sit there, and they'll die. This is the evil people that we're dealing with. Women like that, in my personal opinion, these are pure evil witches and everything. Where are they at? Look at this freaking heifer. They're not human. No, they're trying to assert her point and so forth. I got a great idea for you, girl. Birth control. You don't want no baby? Don't freaking don't let nobody get up in you then. You know what I'm saying? Hint, hint, and everything. Stop doing the do and so forth. Because you're taking a chance of probably getting pregnant. And if you get pregnant, then somebody like you is going to be freaking dumb enough and stupid enough and evil to freaking just kill the baby just because it's not human. You know, you got some people calling little infant born little babies inside the womb a daggum like a leech. You know what I'm saying? They leech off the woman. They're a parasite. I'm like, really? It's a parasite now? Oh, wow. Y'all really going there, aren't you? And everything. You know, it's just crazy to me. You say, no black girl. This girl here probably thought because she had this one black girlfriend over here, probably thought, oh, well, see, no black girl. You know, she sat her butt down real quick with a little chunky, funky belly. Talking about my body, my choice, all this bullshit. What about the baby's choice? What about the life living in you? What about their choice? Oh, they don't get one. Kind of like black people didn't get one back in the 1800s when they were slaves and so forth. In the 1700s and so forth back then. During the great slave trade that you guys keep forgetting that, guess what? Black people did that shit to other black people and they sold them off to the white man. Oh, yeah, we'll get into that another day and so forth. Because y'all seem not to know your real history on how this shit's really happened. And every motherfucking country was doing it, not just America. But anyway, I just had to throw this little video out real quick, you guys, just to kind of give you guys a quick essence of, you know, of what when you deal with woke flip necks, they completely are brainless and clueless to what's going on in the world. They don't know. They you know, these are selfish women right here. They're just basically selfish. They always talk about women's rights and women's this and women's that, and us women this and this and that. But they ain't fight for women's rights on these sports teams when these freaking trans people are up there. These trans women who are biological men going into women's sports and beating the world out of all the girls and taking away their freaking opportunities to get into a good college, into all these things. A lot of these girls work very hard in these swim meets and these track meets and stuff to get a scholarship. And all of a sudden, some trans man or trans woman, I'm sorry, who's biologically a man, just thought, well, I'm a woman now, so I can compete against the women. Oh, I took some hormones. I've been on them for a couple months. I feel feminine now. I feel weak. All right, I feel weak now, and so forth. So yeah, I'm you know, They always say there's no difference between men and women. They always talk about, oh, women are just as strong as men. They can be just as strong as a man can. Really? Then why do freaking men have to take hormones to weaken themselves to be able to be in the women's sports? They got to have their shit's level goes down so that they can, come down to a level to where real biological women are at in strength. Because they got all this testosterone, and even then, they're still stronger than the woman. They're still stronger, quicker, bone massity, all that shit. But anyway, that's another day. That's another subject, and so forth. I just wanted to point out how the hypocrisy of these type of liberals, these type of progressive social justice warriors out there, and a lot of them are these white ones, and a lot of them are black ones too, because black people out there saying the same stupid shit and so forth. But black people do it for a different reason. Money. They hustling. Oh, really? Y'all gonna get? I remember putting a video some years ago where Starbucks was doing this big thing, and remember that incident that happened at Starbucks with the two brothers in there, and so forth. They wanted to go, and they were just sitting in there, and the person said, "Hey, you're gonna have to buy something if you guys are gonna just be sitting in here because these seats are for paying customers and everything." And all of a sudden, they took it as a racist thing and so forth. All this craziness went down, and the cops got called in on them because they didn't want to leave. And so forth. So then they ended up having to the cops took them out, whatever. And it was a big old race thing. And then Starbucks was like, we really apologize to the black community about what happened to those poor young black men in there. And we would never tolerate something like that. So from now on, we're gonna do this for black people. We're gonna blah 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 blah. All this freaking kissing black people's asses. And black people are like this. Cha-ching! Hell yeah, niggas. And guess what? One of them motherfucking black people actually proved a point on how dumb some of these white liberal people are starting to become. He actually went into Starbucks and he was playing a game. He said, watch me go in here and get a free coffee today. I'm going to get my reparations. But our reparations. He walked into the coffee shop and two dumb white girl like this one right here, who's a little teeny bop, who's like, oh, we're for equality and diversity and all this stuff and so forth. Because they virtue signal like they're doing something for black people when they're the fakest motherfuckers on the planet. They're the most racist people on the planet. So the guy goes in there and he says, yo, man, I want a free coffee and everything because you know what happened in Starbucks and black people and Starbucks is racist. He says, oh my gosh, really? Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know. Oh, no, we're not racist. I'm not racist at all and everything. He says, yeah, well, I should get a free coffee for reparations. Yeah, the new thing that Starbucks is talking about, we get to get our reparations. So yeah, I want to pick up on that free coffee that I'm supposed to be getting. You go, oh yeah, sure, yeah. Oh man, my gosh, it's so horrible. What happened? Yeah, yeah. Make him a free, give him a big cup. Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm so agreeing with you on that. Man, this girl gave this brother a free coffee, free big old giant thing, Starbucks coffee thing, and he was messing with him. He just wanted to see how far he could go with it. And man, it was the most craziest thing I have ever seen, dude. How they just bow down to black people when black people say racism. But black people don't say it. They're only saying it because black people are hustlers. We will hustle your freaking money out your pocket and so forth. We only playing the game because we know we can get away with it now. And you dummies out there who are on that freaking far progressive left style and everything, whether you be white, black, whatever. And so you guys fall for it every freaking time. And everything. I saw videos where white people freaking bowing down on their knees to black people, talking about, we're so sorry for the racism of our ancestors. I'm like, are you guys stupid? You guys are the most dumbest motherfuckers, dude. I'm trying to wake some white people up. Stop freaking falling for this bullshit. They are freaking playing with you. Black people don't freaking give a shit about you. And everything. And I'm talking about these thugs, these BLM ones I'm talking about. I ain't talking about all black people, because most of the black people, we actually can think, and we ain't trying to have that. We're trying to think like Martin Luther King wanted us to be and everything. Well, blacks and whites can be together, and we can all have a unity together. You don't see a color. We can all be friends, cool, whatever, and so forth, and live amongst each other peacefully and with harmony and so forth. But these fools, all they're doing is bringing us back, dude. All they do is bring us back. When this girl freaking wants to put a black woman in her mouth to appease her freaking abortion thing, and she got blown out the water because a real black sister comes up and tells her, Nuh-uh, not here. I don't think so. You don't speak for me. Let me tell you the real deal. Matter of fact, I got a degree in biology. What do you know? Everything. So that's how this shit goes down, ladies and gentlemen. It's always the same bullshit. And I'll leave you with one more little video here where this stupid white liberal girl comes up here and tries to act. She's virtual signaling to Charlie Kirk and all them, right? And I got this on this one guy's channel. He got the video and so forth. And here's your typical leftist progressive white liberal who freaking basically comes out there and thinks she knows why black people are in jail. She never freaking really tells you why they in jail and so forth. She just says black people are incarcerated and white people, and that is racist. Blah blah blah. And she's up here trying to write off some statistics and so forth and so forth. I'll show you that real quick just before we leave, so you guys can kind of click that, and then we'll end this and so forth. Let me show you that and so forth. So here's another typical heifer who thinks that she's going to be able to freaking come out here and virtue signal. I wish Candace Owens was with Charlie on this day, because unfortunately, when a white conservative actually says the truth and actually speaks the truth, they're called racist for it. And I hate that, dude, because they're freaking speaking the truth. Though Charlie and them know what the hell they're talking about, and your dumb ass don't, and so forth. Because you freaking went to this college and your professor told you all this stuff, and you guys watch freaking left-wing media all the time, and they brainwash your ass and everything. And because they don't want to, leftists can't lose an argument, so she's going to do the same thing that one white girl did in that last video. When she lost the argument, she's like, because she knew she was losing. And she couldn't really debate the sister, because that's a black woman, and she can't tell a black woman, because her argument was that black people don't believe in not having abortions and so forth, or do believe in having abortions. That black people believe in all that stuff, and we don't, and so forth. Matter of fact, abortion clinics were put in by I'm trying to remember what's her name, Margaret Higgins Sanger, also known as Margaret Sanger Slee, was an American birth control activist, sex educator, and writer, and she was a racist. She actually went to a Klan meeting on telling the Klan on how we can get rid of the black race. You know what she thought of? She said, we'll put all these abortion clinics in these black neighborhoods and so forth. And black people will just kill themselves off. It was always a plan. And she was one of the plan was in the beginning was to actually put these, because she figured out how to do the abortion thing. And at first it was just something that was a general thing for everyone. But then they figured out, hey, this is a good way to freaking get rid of the weeds, because she called us weeds, black people. Yeah. Oh yeah, look her up. I won't get into the full thing on her and so forth, but look her up. Let's go to this video real quick.
That y'all mentioned earlier, you said you don't believe in white privilege, correct?
Yeah, it's a myth. It doesn't exist.
Okay. So according to the Bureau of Prison Statistics from last month, 38.3% of our current inmate population is black. But according to the 2020 census data, only 12.2% of our national population is black. So if you don't believe in white privilege, how do you explain this?
I know where this is going. He's going to say something along the lines of black people commit more crimes than white people.
So why are they in jail?
It has been this way for years, since the 90s.
No,
since
why do people go to jail?
Why are black people in jail at higher rates than white people?
That's the question, right? Maybe because they commit more crimes than white people.
But that's not true. It actually is.
They do. So every independent analysis shows that blacks have committed disproportionate.
Now, mind you, she always has to look at her phone. Let me go back to my phone and see if I can find something here. Hold on. And everything. You notice how Charlie just off the cuff knows the freaking facts and statistics? Because the man's actually studied. He's researched it. He knows it for real and everything. She just learned it yesterday. Everything. Let me come in here, because I know I'm going to be able to shut him down. I'm going to shut him down. Anyway, I digress. Let's go back to the video.
Amount of crime. No one wants to say it out loud, but it's true. In fact, in New York, 52% of murders are committed by blacks, 40+% of arson, 60+% of drug deals. And so the question you should really be asking is, what drives them to commit crimes? That's the question, right? The real question is, and maybe I can ask you, what percentage of blacks are raised with two parents in the home?
So actually, according to the Uniform Crime Report for 2019, Black or African American individuals committed only about 1 million crimes. While
You notice how she's not answering his question. She's going back to her so that she can try to form another argument.
white people committed about 4 million
Yeah,
crimes.
so
But that's
hold on.
proportion.
Yeah, how about the proportion?
There's a lot more white people than black people in the United States.
It's a 60% white country and a 14% black country. So you just proved my point. You literally, so basically.
Yeah, so basically, she just proved his point and everything because they killed something like 1 million, but there's only like 15% of us and everything. So we're killing off our own freaking race practically, you dumb idiot, and so forth. But you're mad because the police are putting, black people who are killing other black people in jail. I'm glad they're putting them in jail because I don't want the motherfuckers coming up in my motherfucking hood, in my house, and so forth, and want to freaking cap me and kill me for no freaking damn reason because they freaking had a bad day or they want to rob you for something, which is what a lot of these stupid white liberal young kids like this, they don't know what it's like to live in the hood, dude. That's really the main problem. They don't know what it's like to live where we live, and so forth. So they just freaking go off of their little statistics on a phone and so forth and everything. You know, I said, once you talk to a real black person, go into the neighborhood, into the hoods that we grew up in. Go up into Watts, Compton, Inglewood, Southside Chicago, Baltimore, all these places. You know, up there in Oakland, California. Go into these places where mainly black people, hoodie, Atlanta, Georgia. You know, go to these places, little white girl. And then freaking tell me how much there ain't no black crime going on. Oh, well, they didn't deserve it. I just watched today a freaking car chase today. Everything. Soon as the motherfuckers booted out the car, guess who the people who were running out of the car were? 4 black kids. And everything. Right out here. And so forth. So, shut up with the nonsense. Everything. But they were promotion because they're committing crimes. That's why. That's why. And once again, I can tell you, if I go up into a nice little white neighborhood and everything, I ain't got to watch my back. But if I'm rolling up in Santa Ana, I'm over there in motherfucking Compton, Inglewood, any of these places I live out here in California and so forth, oh yeah, you damn sure I'm going to have to be like this. Watch for the car that's rolling by slow. Oh, y'all don't know about that one, do you? Yeah, when a car's rolling up on you slow like that, girl, that means they're getting ready to gat your behind. But you wouldn't know nothing about that because you live over there in nice little suburbia. Nice little Whiteville, nice little clean, nice little neighborhood. We don't have to worry about that shit all the time. We do. And we got to worry about that from our own freaking people every freaking day. You think I'm afraid of a cop? I'm not afraid of cops. I'm afraid of my own people who would want to gun me down because I said something they didn't like. I looked at them the wrong way. And so forth. I remember that freaking Latino gangs, F-troopers up in Santa Ana. Those fools used to freaking get pissed at you. You just halfway, you just looking this way. They walk past you and say, what you looking at, eh? Who you staring at? They say, motherfucker, I wasn't staring at you. I was looking across the street. You better watch where you're looking at, eh? You better watch your tone, eh? Cut you up, eh? That's how they are. That's the shiz, dude. That's what we have to deal with in the Latino and the black neighborhoods. Y'all don't got to deal with that shit. The majority of the time, y'all don't really have to deal with it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen at all with some white people, but it's low key. It's not an every single day lifestyle. Black people have to deal with that all the time, but they're freaking you got too many of these freaking idiots out there that won't rat on each other. You can't snitch because if you snitch, you get stitches. Snitches get stitches. That's the old saying and everything. So the black people won't rat on each other when they find out brothers coming up. You can't come up in the hood. You start coming up in the hood, another brother want to take you down. Oh man, what? Man, that fool, he looking at him all flossing like he's somebody, man. Man, light that fool up. That's how brothers are. That's how these young brothers are. Then you got brothers like myself and the most educated black people and everything who want to live a good life and want to live the American lifestyle and want to go to college and get educated and have own businesses, legit businesses, and so forth. But it's these young kids who grow up without no fathers in the home. And the mama's only raising them, and the mama's all out in the streets. And so, guess what? They raising themselves, which is the next point Charlie Kirk's going to say, and then we'll end this shit.
Basically, that's a disproportionate amount of crime. It is.
But listen, I want to say, look, you are coming up here and you're asking a question, and that's not easy to do, first and foremost, no matter what. And I really appreciate your question in front of all these people. It's hard. So thank you for asking your question. But let me point out what you just did, and you didn't know that you did it. You switched from proportion to raw numbers. That's right. And you did that to make a point that you thought you were making, but you weren't. But look, your issue was that Black Americans only make up 13% of the population, and yet they make up, I think you said, like 38% of the prison population. And then you switched to raw numbers because, so Black people only make up 13% of the population, but they commit 40% of all homicides and 60% of all violent crime. Unfortunately, I don't think that's anything inherent in Black Americans. That's not what I'm saying. That's just the fact. And what Charlie...
But let's keep this in mind. If you're a white person, you say that out loud, there's a chance you're going to be looked at as racist. Now, the question is, why would you be looked at as racist for saying something like that out loud? Why would that be considered racist?
What is saying is, look, we've got to look at why that is. So you're claiming that that disparity is inherent proof of discrimination. So would you also say the fact that there are fewer Asians in jail means that than white people, that there is discrimination against white people? No? Disparity isn't proof of discrimination is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So let me just...
In other words, you know, the Democrat Party, the Democratic plantation attaches discrimination to the statistic of Black people being in jail when it's just, hey, more Black people happen to be in jail. It's nobody's fault except, you know, the right wing would say Black people, which sounds racist, but it's the statistic. So what do you do with that information?
And Allie's exactly right. What percentage of Blacks grow up with two parents in the home?
I don't know.
Yeah, less than 20%. That's why there's so many Blacks committing crimes and they're in jail. It's that simple.
Now, mind you, she said, he asked her that question. I don't know. I don't grow up in the neighborhood. I don't know. That's exactly right. So you need to shut up because you don't know. You have no idea. You don't know. You don't have a clue what Black people really go through in them freaking type of neighborhoods. You don't know that. Because you grew up in a little little nice little area and everything. Okay, suburbia, I wanted to say. You grew up in suburbia and it was all nice and clean and chill for you. You don't have to worry about looking behind your back 24/7, wondering if Quisha or Tyrone and them are down the street and ready to do something stupid and so forth. And you didn't have to worry about that. So you need to shut up. Before you freaking start talking, I'm just reading off a freaking phone. No, it's called real life. We lived it. You did it. You don't live the life, so you don't know. And I'm telling you everything that Charlie and this guy right here that brought this up. His name is I want to give him a shout out and everything because this is his video. He goes by Just Another American and so forth. And he's 100% correct. Everything he's just stated is 100% correct. Black people do this on a freaking big basis. And the funny thing is, Black people don't freaking get told. They don't get told this enough. We need to be told that we're freaking ruining our own freaking lives and careers and livelihood. We're killing our own people and so forth. This is the thing I've always hated about my own race and so forth, is that we freaking jack each other on a 24/7. Then we get people like, you know, Joy Reid and Don Lemon and Jesse Jackson and freaking Al Sharpton, race hustlers who freaking get paid to freaking keep bringing this racism bullshit on because they making money off of it and so forth. Constantly putting out the lie that we still living in the freaking 60s. This shit was in the 50s and 60s. The shit that girl's talking about happened to my grandparents and so forth. My mom lived with that kind of shit and so forth. Black kids today ain't got to worry about that kind of shit. If they keep their noses clean, stay out of trouble, they wouldn't be going to jail all the time. Like the 4 brothers I just saw go to jail today. Anyway, we'll finish this up because I want you guys to see what happens when this girl's argument just doesn't work anymore. Hilarious.
The death of the Black family is why Blacks are in jail higher than their population percentage. It's that simple.
May I see your criminology degree? Do you have one?
I'm sorry. Wait.
Wrong thing to ask. She's upset that she's lost power in this argument, so now she's, you know, trying to destroy his credibility, so not smart.
We've got to. Are you a
We gotta argue
biologist,
from an
Ketanji
expert.
Brown Jackson?
Let me ask you a question. So do I need a criminology degree to be able to understand that 75% of blacks don't grow up with two parents?
To be well versed in it, I believe so.
Do you have one?
I don't, but I'm studying it.
Okay,
right
but
now.
you
Oh, she studied it.
But you did the same thing. You looked at a statistic, and he did the same thing. You
Look,
don't have a criminology
Have you
degree,
even taken
neither
a
does
criminology
he.
course? Have y'all
Hold on a
taken
second.
one?
You're doing an argument from authority, okay?
It's a fallacy.
So the laws of physics don't change whether or not you're a physicist, okay? The law of thermodynamics doesn't change whether or not you take a course on it. Answer the question. Why do blacks have a broken family versus a nuclear family, and does that translate to higher rates of crime? Do you admit that?
Why is it that blacks don't have parents, though? Why?
Good question. We subsidize single motherhood in this country through the federal government of the United States. Great question. Now we're getting somewhere. Back in the 1960s, we put forward a program where black women married the government and broke up with the men they were with. Welfare state, Lyndon Baines Johnson, and that has contributed to blacks committing more crimes.
I believe institutionalized racism is your answer, but I don't believe I'm getting anywhere with y'all.
look-
But
so-
no, just let me point something out. Did you know that it's not white Americans that have the lowest incarceration rate or the lowest rates of crime or the highest graduation rates or the highest median income? It's not white Americans. It's Asian Americans. They have the highest median income. They have the highest graduation rates. They have the most degrees. They have the lowest incarceration rates. And guess what? They also have the lowest single parenthood rates. Okay? So that is true across the board. It's not just black Americans. And unless you are willing to say that the reason why Asian Americans make more than white Americans or the reason why Asian Americans go to jail less than white Americans is because there is systemic institutional racism against white people in this country, then your argument against black people doesn't really work.
So let me ask you one thing. You said institutional racism. I got a black friend right up here. He's great. He's great. So let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. What can I do that he can't do?
What do you mean?
If institutional racism was real, what can I?
Now, mind you, she's got to be real careful how she answers this question because it's a double-edged question. It's a double-edged sword question and everything. What can I do that this black man can't do? And if she says, well, he can't. If she says one thing out of place, dude, that brother's gonna get up and say, "What, bitch?" Everything. Who are you to say I can't do this? I can't do that? Because she thinks white privilege. You have to be white in order to be able to do these things. So she thinks that only white people. That in itself is racist to us blacks. A lot of us who are educated and smart and have woken up and taken the red pill and know the real deal, and we don't live in fantasy land, will look at what anybody says, that when people say that they have white privilege, you're a racist to me. You just put a racist comment because you're basically saying that I'm smaller than you because you're white. That's what white privilege means to me. And everything. You're basically degrading me because I'm black. You're white, so you have privileges over me. Nah, no, you don't. And everything. Because I believe I live in a time and period now where I can do the same thing you can do. And so forth. So for you to say, oh, because you're white and you got a privilege, that automatically tells me that you think you're above me. Think about that, people. Any of you liberals out there, you little left-wing nutheads, you little college students out there that keep using that white privilege shit, just know that deep down in the black community, we look at that as racist and everything. Because you're basically saying you're better than us. That's what that means to us. Just giving you that little piece of knowledge. Let's finish this off.
I do that he can't do.
Well, you're less likely to get arrested.
I'm sorry. No, if we both commit a crime, he's going to get arrested and I'm not?
He could.
Wait, so we just went through this.
saying-
Blacks commit a disproportionate amount of crime in this country because of broken families. So give me one law on the books.
not because
You
of
said it's
broken
institutional.
families.
Give me a law anywhere that discriminates against blacks. Give me one law anywhere in America.
You want current or past?
How about right now?
Well, the fact that crack cocaine is criminalized more than regular cocaine.
No,
that is
if I
disproportionate
deal-
raising the law against blacks.
If I deal crack cocaine,
The fact that crack cocaine is criminalized more than cocaine. And I'm like, girl, you see how stupid that is? You see how dumb that is with the fact that crack cocaine, like that's what, so you trying to say that only black people take crack cocaine? Only blacks? So there you go. You just made another racist statement. Be careful with your words, you liberals out there. When you say shit like this and everything, you're being racist and so forth. This, what she just said, basically just tell crack cocaine is more as being more criminalized than regular cocaine. As to say that only black people get crack cocaine? We're the only ones? Only black people? Why? Is it because it's a poor man's drug or something? So you're trying to say black people are all poor? Is that what you're trying to say? And so forth? See, watch your freaking words. They get themselves in a trick boat, right, when they do this stuff because they think they're virtual signaling and they're trying to be for black. But really what they're doing is they're putting racial flow. Read between the lines, people, when you hear liberals like this freaking white girl right here freaking saying shit. She don't know what the hell she's talking about. And she's freaking making a suggestion that black people are the only ones that get on crack cocaine. Hint, Hunter Biden, he's on crack cocaine. Yeah, those crack pipe in his mouth. Yeah, he's white. And what Charlie's basically trying to say is, he says, I'll get in trouble just as much as the black person for the same deal and everything. You just said the drug is more criminalized and everything. So if Charlie gets caught with the freaking more criminalized drug, then he'll get the same freaking treatment and so forth. That's what Charlie's telling you, you flip.
Okay, I'm getting arrested regardless of skin color. Give me a law.
White cocaine,
Give me a law anywhere that allows white people to commit crimes and get away with it and blacks can't. Does that law exist?
Not anymore. But
because there's no institutional racism in America. The idea of institutional racism is laws on the books.
Just because it's not down on paper doesn't mean it's not real.
Okay, give us an example. Not just a disparity. Not just a
God?
disparity.
God isn't, you don't see God?
He's on paper. Read the Bible.
I didn't mean it like that. I'm getting nowhere with y'all, and y'all are not answering my questions, so I'm going to end this Q&A right here. Thank you for your time.
Okay. We actually did answer her questions, but I do appreciate, even though she's got an attitude,
and that's it, y'all. That's what it comes down to. They lose the argument, they run off and run. You guys are not bowing down to my train of thought, so I'm gonna freaking leave. Because you guys won't freaking... I thought I had some points that was going to crush you, and it didn't work. Ah! I'm leaving. Because you lost the argument. Girl, you lost the argument the minute you started the debate. The minute you opened your mouth and put out them stats, and Charlie came back at you with the real deal stats, and your stats actually coincided with his stats, yes, you lost the debate right then and there. And so forth. But she had to keep it moving. She had to keep pushing. And the more she kept pushing, the more stupid she got. The more stupid stuff came out of her mouth. Like crack cocaine and white cocaine and everything. That was going to make her big point. You mean today or in the past? She really wanted to go for the past. No, he said, no, right now, today. We're living in today's society. Don't talk about shit that happened freaking 50, 60, 70, 100 years ago. No, I don't hear about that shit. Because we all know about that. We already know what happened back then. No, we're talking about current day. The day you guys are all saying that all this racism is happening. She couldn't point out shit. She went to a freaking drug. A drug. Well, because crack cocaine is being criminalized. Meaning? Meaning what? And regular cocaine is not as criminalized. And most white people get the real stuff, the real, because real cocaine costs more money. Therefore, rich people are getting it. Therefore, black people aren't getting it because they're not got the money. They don't have the money to do it. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah, that's what you're trying to say indiscreetly and everything. But your whole argument gets blown up because I would have pointed, if I was up on that stage, I would have pointed out everything she just said was racist. And she would have been looking like an idiot. A black man telling her this. And this is what needs to happen to a lot of these stupid little virtual signaling white liberal SJW kids out there that keep freaking acting like they know everything about black people. and how black people think. And that's what my whole point was for this video and so forth. From the whole thing with the abortion thing and that little SJW chick up there trying to say that, oh, no, I never seen a black woman, blah, blah, blah. And there was one right there in the room with her. She couldn't handle it, so she had to sit her funky fat ass down and everything. This one here couldn't handle it, so she had to run her butt off like this with an attitude. Homegirl, she pointed it out perfectly. Well, you know, she's going to have an attitude about it. I love it with dude. The one thing about the Democrat Party, dude, they run off illogical circumstances. They run off of everything that's woke in today's society. They run off the most craziest fantasy land stuff and so forth. And they think normal people, everyday people, whether you white, black, Asian, Mexican, whatever, and everything, they think the majority of us all agree with them. That's their problem. That's why CNN Plus is freaking crashed, going nowhere. That's why Disneyland is going crashing and so forth. That's why Netflix is starting to crash with their freaking stuff and so forth, because they keep putting out woke bullshit that nobody agrees with but these little flipnicks on Twitter. These little high-strung out, little pink, red hair, purple hair, you know. I've been babied all my life in a little bubble and everything, and I just don't like the way the real world is. We're sick of it, and we're coming back at you with the real deal. This is TJ Quake, yo ghetto gamer, pop culture talk. Glad you guys tuned in. I'll have another one coming at you real soon. We'll be back at you with the craziness with TJ and MJ Spin Your Dollar, Save Your Dollar movie reviews, and all that other craziness. You can check that out. May the funk be with you guys. I'm Alley5. Woo! This was a one.
Yeah, let's do this. TJ Quake, the ghetto gamer. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. I'm TJ Quake, the ghetto gamer on this gaming thing. Gonna bang 'em up, gonna shoot 'em up, right here on the gaming string. Bang, bang, blaze 'em on up. TJ Quake, we'll bust 'em like 1, 2, 3, here we go.